Yo, hello. So the 3.0 live stream, this happened recently, and we got some information on the new character, the Herta, and I do actually want to take the time and talk about the Herta, because honestly, the live stream gives us basically all the info we need to kind of make quite a few assumptions of how the Herta will work. So let's just go over it. Let's go over it. First of all, I do want to say immediately that we actually do have all of the material currently to farm the Herta. They said in the 2.7 live stream that they're adding no new trace mats, and they reaffirmed that again in the 3.0 live stream. So let's farm your Erudition mats, and you will be able to get the Herta that's fine. And follow that with, we can just talk about the live stream now as well. So the Herta, of course, being an Erudition class character, she attacks largely in AoE, but there is quite a bit interesting about her. First of all, she this uses some similar mechanics that we saw from characters like Feixiao, we saw from like Acheron as well, where she gets these stacks, and her team composition looks quite similar to those as well, where she wants another Erudition teammate member with AoE attack frequency instead of single target. As you see here, 42 stacks is your max, but your ally also stacks for you, so your ideal kind of partner are characters that attack frequency with the Herta. This includes regular Herta, this includes characters like Serval. Your best in slot will likely be a character like Jade. Argenti would work quite well as well, and maybe you could even use Jingyuan if you use Sunday as a partner. But yeah, the Herta, this attacks, and then you get all this off, get your skill with insane damage and most of your damage off your kit, and then her ultimate will advance her forward and bring her up, and then do a big ol' slam, and then she gets an enhanced skill to attack as well. And that's gives the Herta quite a few interesting options for how her team will work, because we know her team is Erudition focused, and we saw Aventurine and Robin as members there. So Aventurine, not the most AoE attack frequency character, but she still does quite a bit. But there's another interesting character I want to talk about for the live stream, particularly for the Herta, and that is the Remembrance Trailblazer. The Remembrance Trailblazer actually has quite a few tools that are in particularly good for the Herta. First of all, when other allies attack, she gets more energy. So the more energy on the Trailblazer, this means this works with a function of how the Herta team works. And you see here the advance forward on Remembrance Trailblazer, making them kind of a support character for the Herta too, while having those AoE attack frequencies, unlike a Robin, because Robin, once you go to your form, she can't attack at all, and Remembrance Trailblazer can attack, and then also brings you forward to get more stacks on your own, making Remembrance Trailblazer kind of an ideal partner in theory to how the Herta plays. We'll see this later as well, where they show off a team composition of Aventurine, Herta, the Herta, and Remembrance Trailblazer. And I think this is actually quite a good team and should work quite well with what the Herta does, where Aventurine has a lot of attacks. If you hit his shield enough, he'll do a little follow-up that will hit multiple enemies, further stacking the Herta. And then Herta is, of course, very AoE attack frequency, especially in pure fiction. And Remembrance Trailblazer can attack themselves in AoE with their summon, and they can also bring you up to attack on your own. And this combination makes Remembrance Trailblazer quite an interesting partner in theory. Of course, Remembrance Trailblazer is not out in game yet, so we don't know exactly how good Remembrance Trailblazer will be in game. But some theory of what could be some decent free-to-play options you see here. Let's pretend this is the Herta. Pela could be a decent, interesting option for free-to-play as well. Because you have 4-piece wind, you have AoE attack frequency through your ultimate. You can charge your ultimate fast with like Von Wag, 4-piece wind, so it's a decent option. I do hesitant to say Pela though, because I think the Remembrance Trailblazer will probably be better than Pela. But if you do want to use Pela, that could be an option as well. But the interesting option I do want to talk about here is Serval. Using a light cone like passkey where you generate energy, you can charge her ult very fast because she has very low cost. You use a set like 4-piece wind to advance Serval up, and all of a sudden you got a team that is very beneficial to the Herta, as Serval has AoE attack frequency, gets energy back, and if you can't get stacks off and you can't get your follow-ups off with regular Herta, Serval will actually be a good alternative in an MOC setting or an Apocalyptic Shadow setting, allowing you to have this AoE attack frequency, but consistently and not having to worry about triggering a follow-up attack from the regular Herta. But when you are able to trigger those follow-up attacks, regular Herta is going to be amazing and incredible at that. And I'll say the best premium option I unfortunately don't have on my account, but Jade will be an incredible partner for the Herta as well. Qingshui probably not going to be that crazy with her. I don't know on my relics if that will occur. I never use her. But Qingshui won't be as incredible of an option. But Qingshui does have a follow-up with her Eidolon, so there is some RNG that Qingshui could be a partner with the Herta, but it is pure gambling. It is pure gambling. But another character I want to talk about, similar veins to where Serval Passkey is good, Argenti with Passkey would be quite interesting as well, because you can charge Argenti ult very fast, he gets it back, and then you have even more stacks for the Herta. Another interesting character I talked about a little bit too, if you got Sunday, you could potentially use Sunday Jingyuan the Herta. I don't imagine it would be a premium team for the Herta, but Jingyuan Sunday brings up the Jingyuan summon, so Jingyuan would have AoE attack frequency. That is very nice too, so that is another potential use case. But I'll say my idea of what a premium team would look like right now. Aventurine, of course, is a good option, but I do think Crit LINGSHA would be the better option, actually. Because Crit LINGSHA has AoE attack frequency, and her bunnies are also AoE. So LINGSHA is kind of a perfect complement to the Herta's gameplay, where Aventurine is more like shieldy tanky and he's going to live better, but he isn't as perfect of a complement because the Herta is not a follow-up character. Aventurine stacks are going to be your main gel, and that's kind of inconsistent of how fast you get your stack output. So the consistency of this LINGSHA, actually, this makes her way better of a stack generator for the Herta. Another option, if you don't have either premium tanks, I imagine using like Gallagher could also be an option, and you could use like Quid Pro Quo, get some energy around your team, and you just use like this all speed quid pro quo, and then you just go in, get your basics, get your ultimate, go faster, and also know you have some AoE attacks, not exactly too frequently, but it would be a decent free to play option too in that regard. And then the support slot, instead of a character like Pela, I do expect the Remembrance Trailblazer to be better than Pela, as I said, so that would be another option. But I do expect Robin would probably be the best option currently. I will say to note as well, we did actually get a new 5-star Harmony character announced in Triby, which we don't know what Triby does yet, but that is a character I would also keep an eye on in case you don't want to pull Robin. If you want Triby could be interesting there for sure. So don't feel like it's mandatory to pull Robin, especially for the Herta. If you have her already, she is a great option, of course. But if you don't have her, I would look into how the Remembrance Trailblazer works potentially, because I do think that might actually be the option over it. As for relic sets, because we know from the live stream that she does skill and ultimate damage, not follow-up damage, we can actually make a few assumptions on what the Herta relic set will look like, right? And of course, right away, we have a new set that happens to exactly parallel skill and ult damage, and Scholar Lost in Erudition will most definitely be her best in slot. You see it increases crit rate by 8%. Fantastic two-piece. Increases damage dealt by skill and ultimate by 20% after using ultimate, additionally increasing the damage dealt by the next skill by 25%. Amazing. That is exactly her gameplay, because she ults, brings herself up, and then she has this enhanced skill after using her ultimate, and now that does 25 extra damage, and it's already going to do a lot of damage, I imagine, being an enhanced skill. So this is definitely the premium set. And it's already a good farming target too. If you had Sunday, you're probably farmed for this quite a bit. If you have like any character support, really, having a two-piece farm on the other set is pretty amazing. So I would make sure to farm the living hell out of this. You should be like permanently in the Scholar domain. It is quite amazing. And the two-piece on it is quite good too. It's not like a game like Zenless Zone Zero, because you can mix sets wherever you want, because there's like planers. But two-piece crit rate will work. It won't be the best in slot on like any character really, but the 4-piece is also incredible, so I do recommend building this and getting as many of it as possible currently. And for the planar set, we actually have, since we're running 2 Erudition on the Herta team comp, right away Izumo is going to be your best in slot. So we already know Izumo is going to be incredible. And if you want Pure Fiction, you're best set for Pure Fiction gameplay only if you just only want to use the Herta in Pure Fiction, which I do expect the Herta will work in modes outside of Pure Fiction. I expect her to kind of like work in this tandem with how Erudition works, similar to Feixiao, and be able to run in all modes. Cause like Feixiao, even though this being a hunt single target character, Feixiao has some gimmicky strats with like Feixiao plus Herta and AoE attackers, where Feixiao will charge them and all of a sudden they attack a lot, and all of a sudden she does kind of work in Pure Fiction. I expect the Herta will have some similar aspects to that, because we saw in the live stream as well, the Herta isolates her stacks toward the center, so she's able to do damage like a destruction character, to a sense. So I do expect her to be good in all modes, so I honestly would just go all in to Herta will be good all modes, use izumo, farm izumo, and you should already have it for Feixiao, potentially, because Feixiao's teammates are quite good with it, if you didn't just farm Duran only. And you should have it for Acheron teams. Acheron teams are quite good as well. And there's going to be a lot more teams that want to run it as well, because like we saw a light cone that we got for Robin quite a bit ago, but this light cone option, Poised to Bloom, quite good if you have multiple allies with the same path. So these two path teams are getting even more frequent now, because you can also do this with Robin, and you can do Robin, the Herta, and another Erudition character, and then LINGSHA, Aventurine, or Gallagher as a kind of team comp. So that light cone is quite amazing with that as well. As for Erudition light cone options, unfortunately, not being a follow-up character does mean some of the premium Erudition light cones will not work on you. If you got Jingyuan light cone, it won't be as good. It will still be a good option. This is a pure stat stick. If you got Jade's light cone, it won't be that amazing on the Herta, but you probably have Jade if you have Jade's light cone, so you can put it on the Herta's partner, and that'll be quite amazing. But for other options, the Battle Pass light cone is about the best you can do free to play. It just uses a lot of energy, and it just you have more damage. And I imagine the Herta is going to cost a lot of energy. This because of how our stacks work. We don't have an exact number yet, but today is another peaceful day. Will be a general neutral option. Breakfast is still quite alright, and the Day the Cosmos Fell is the more gimmicky one. Himiko's a little more gimmicky too, but it could work. It could work. And your Pure Fiction best free to play will be Genius Repose. Surprise to no one, but I personally won't recommend it. But a light cone like this, the Birth of the Self will not work on the Herta. It doesn't work at all. So do not use this light cone. I know it has Herta's face on it, but don't use it. And of course, we can always assume the signature is going to be the best in slot. Well, what a shocker. I don't think we have the effect on it yet, but this assume it's going to be good. I mean, come on. It always is. Dedicate all of your mortal possessions to the Herta. But yeah, that's generally all my thoughts on her right now. Kind of like the Erudition version of Feixiao and her team construction. Make sure to watch out for Remembrance Trailblazer. And how good the Remembrance Trailblazer is going to dictate a lot of how you want to construct the Herta's team. So that is kind of the key part of what you want to look at. For sure, for sure. Yeah, that's all for this one. Let me know what you guys think on the Herta as a character. I personally am pulling her and her light cone, so I decided to make a video on it too. Why not? Why not? But yeah, she is for sure the #1 option I want to look at. And hopefully she'll be as incredible as she seems, because like we've seen so many Erudition characters that have not kind of panned out the way Hoyle probably wanted, but the Herta looks like the perfect enabler to kind of add to the resurgence of all Erudition. Similar to how Sunday gave a resurgence to Jingyuan, I expect the Herta to allow all of the 1.0 or all of the old Erudition banners to look better too, like Argenti and Jade. I think Serval's going to look like a better character too, even. And Herta herself, the regular Herta, might even be playable in other modes, who knows. But yeah, the Herta should be quite a fun character. Just let me know what you guys think. And that's all. Goodbye.